All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Riot Blockchain, stock ticker RIOT. They are a Bitcoin mining company. For those of you who follow the channel, you know we follow closely all the Bitcoin mining companies and Bitcoin. Riot released their October results, so I want to go through their October results, and I want to go through all things Riot. So there's a lot of information here. I'll try to move quickly. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. It helps the channel out a lot, and I appreciate it. It's been making a big difference lately. Lastly, if you want to join the channel, you can hit the join button on YouTube. If you don't see a join button, there should be a link below. You can become a member of the channel. There's some members only content, and once a week we have a members only live stream. So you're welcome to do that, and we'd love to see you there. Okay, let's talk about Riot Blockchain. I'm going to start out by taking a quick look at their stock, and then I want to look at their press release of their October results. So they closed the day Friday at $5.79. That left them at just under $1 billion market cap, $967 million. So I like to put that in perspective. So I just want to start by looking at their historic market cap. So there's a couple of numbers I want to take a quick look at. If we go all the way back to February of 2021, Riot was just under a $6 billion company. Now, in January and February of 2021, a lot of these small cap, high growth stocks ran up to numbers that were not necessarily reasonable. But if I fast forward all the way to November of 2021, that's when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. Riot was still trading at a market cap of over $4 billion. So they're now just a little under $1 billion. So, they're still down about 75% in market cap. We're going to look at how much their stock is down, but I like to take a look at market cap so that people understand that also it's not just a matter of dilution. The market cap of this company is down, almost equally to its stock. Okay, with that said, let's take a look at the operational update. So this came out November 3rd. That was earlier this week. Riot announces October 2022 production and operations update. Riot produced 509 Bitcoin in October 2022 and significantly expands hash rate capacity to all-time record. So I want to talk about those two different things. I want to talk about their exahash rate and their continued growth, which has been outstanding. And then I want to talk about the amount of Bitcoin that they mined. Because although they did mine substantially more Bitcoin in October than they did in September, that number's a little bit lower than I was expecting. So I just want to dig into that a little. I think there's a few questions to be asked. If we go down to their bullet points, Bitcoin production and operations update, Riot produced 509 Bitcoin, an increase of approximately 10% as compared to October 2021, where they produced 464. We will look at a chart of their production over the course of the last year on a month-by-month basis. I much prefer to look month-over-month on these companies because obviously these are all small-cap, high-growth companies, so we're looking for continued steady growth. Having said that, in both September and October, there was a massive increase in the difficulty level of mining Bitcoin. So a lot of the Bitcoin miners actually had lower numbers or less Bitcoin mined per exahash anyway, even if they were able to increase their exahash. So I was expecting somewhere around 600 Bitcoin. I do think we need to keep a close eye on this. I think we need to see next month's operational update, and hopefully I think we're going to get a chance to talk to Riot in between now and then, and maybe they can just directly address and let us know exactly what's going on. And the reason I'm focusing on this is they are doing an outstanding job of building out their infrastructure. They're getting their machines up and running. Their exahash rate is increasing rapidly. It's at its all-time high. They're working with immersion cooling, so at some point I would think that this company should be exceeding some of the other companies in efficiency. So that's the one thing I want to see improve for Riot Blockchain. So hopefully over the coming months we're going to see that happen, or at least get an explanation and a time frame as to when we should expect to see that happen. Okay, Riot held approximately 6,825 Bitcoin, all produced by the company's self-mining operations as of October 31st, 2022. That is the third most Bitcoin on any of the Bitcoin miners' balance sheet. It's the second most unencumbered Bitcoin on any Bitcoin miner's balance sheet. So Marathon has the most Bitcoin with over 11,000, but the majority of those are actually restricted and they are securing a line of credit. So Hut 8 has just under 9,000 Bitcoin. Those are all unencumbered as well. And then you can see Riot here at 6,825 is in third. Fourth place is Distant. Those three companies have really separated themselves just as far as the Bitcoin holdings they have on their balance sheet. Riot did place second on my list of companies most likely to survive a crypto winter, and really I almost could have called it a tie for first place with Hut. Riot has a very, very strong balance sheet, and they seem to be executing very well. They have little to no debt. So in my opinion, management has made all the right moves. So overall, I do think things are going well for Riot. We'll take a look at their stock because all of the stocks in the Bitcoin mining industry are not behaving very well. So Riot is actually doing better than most. But still, Bitcoin is hovering around $20,000. It's a little over $21,000 this weekend. And at these numbers, the Bitcoin miners have been beat up pretty good. The energy costs have gone up for most companies this year, and globally, just energy costs have gone up in general. The difficulty level, like I mentioned, has gone up quite a bit. And then, the last piece is that the price of Bitcoin's gone down. So the profitability equation is probably at a low point at the moment. Riot had a deployed fleet of 65,516 miners with a hash rate capacity of 6.9 exahash per second as of October 31st, 2022. So they continue to grow their exahash. Riot has been clockwork pretty much all year long. They had a couple of months where they were moving some machines around and that kind of stuff earlier in the summer that they were a little bit sideways, but other than that, they have basically been on a high growth trajectory all year long. They're looking to get to 12.5 exahash by the end of Q1 2023. So they have been steadfast in holding to that date. So far, I don't see any reason to doubt that they're going to hit that number. Okay, he goes on to say, rapidly deployed new miners in parallel with new infrastructure build out and broke ground on the first phase of development on our new Corsicana facility. The focus on solid execution of our growth plan has resulted in another record hash rate capacity this month as we progress towards our goal of reaching 12.5 exahash in the first quarter of 2023. Okay, so there it is. In the next paragraph, I'm not going to read this whole paragraph, but mining deployment and shipment, it looks like if they stay on track, then in next month's operational update, I would expect they're probably going to be somewhere around 7.8 exahash by the end of November. So again, that will be another nice month, almost a full exahash of growth in the month of November is what it looks like we should be anticipating. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. So I'm just going to quickly take a look at the previous month. This came out in early October. This was September's update. You'll see Riot produced 355 Bitcoin in September. So that was a much lower number. And again, I'm going to go to the chart month by month in just a minute. September was the end of the curtailment program in Texas. So October, I believe, should have been a full month with no curtailment. So that's one of the things I want to verify. It's one of the reasons their number jumped from 355 to 509. Again, I was expecting something more in the neighborhood of closer to 600, but we'll see what happens there. Okay, so here it is. This is a chart of their Bitcoin production by month dating all the way back to September of 2021. So you're going to see in October they did 509 Bitcoin. That was almost their all-time record. There were two other months that were virtually identical. In April of 2022, they mined 508 Bitcoin. That was one less than they mined this month. And then in March of 2022, they mined 511, which was two more Bitcoin than they mined this month. So they have 3 months that are a virtual tie for their all-time record, one of which was this past month. So I would certainly absolutely positively expect them to pass their all-time record next month. And I think they should pass it by a substantial amount. Again, I'm going to be looking for something north of 600 Bitcoin unless they come out and give us some more details as to why there would be a delay or downtime that we don't know about, because I believe all the curtailment programs are over and they should be operating at maximum efficiency. So we'll see how they do in November. In any instance, they will certainly beat their all-time record or it will be a big disappointment. So again, I'm going to put another target of at least 600 in November. Depending on what we hear from them between now and then, it could be more than that. Okay, so you'll see this is a chart measuring each one of the Bitcoin mining companies from their lows that they hit in the summer of 2022. So you can see from this chart, Bitcoin's up 20% since then, and the vast majority of the miners are in the red since then. So they are only one of 3 companies that has been outperforming Bitcoin over the last 4 months. I think that by the end of the year, if they do what they say they're going to do, and if they can get their efficiency rating up, I think they could take a shot at number 1 on this list. So the November and December operational updates are going to be critical. Also, we're going to get financial statements probably next week, so we can do a deeper dive and see what their financial statements. Those will be for the period ended September 30th, 2022. Okay, so if I go back and look at their production by quarter, there was a big drop off in Q3. Now, Q3 was the summer of 2022, so it's important to remember they participated in energy curtailment programs and they were paid large sums of money for that. So although the amount of Bitcoin that they mined was quite a bit lower, they were compensated for that in energy credits. So this chart is a little misleading, but what I really wanted to show you is come the fourth quarter of 2022, Riot should really have a breakout quarter. They should should be significantly larger than their previous all-time record quarter. So we're going to have to wait to the end of the year to see how that plays out, but so far we have the month of October and they were at 509. October really should be their smallest month for the rest of the year. So I'm expecting somewhere between 16 and 1800, maybe even more than that. So the fourth quarter of 2022 should be, from a number of Bitcoin mined, their all-time best quarter. Now, we'll see how the price of Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin's actually been pretty solid the last couple of months, but obviously that will be a key factor. So there's a bunch of stuff we're going to want to see in their financial statements. Okay, just a quick review of their stock. This is on the 1 week time frame. So from the high to the low, which was January of 2021 until June of 2022, so that's a year and a half, this company was down about 95%. However, I don't want to measure from there. A more realistic measurement is from their November 2021 highs. Again, they were up almost $80 in January of 2021. By November, even when Bitcoin hit its all-time high, Riot was trading more in the $45, $46 range. I think that's a more realistic target, but they're still down almost 92% from that number at their all-time low this summer. Now, if we measure from where they are today, they're down 87.5%. So that sounds awful, which it is. But again, we showed you they're actually leading the pack. They're in the top 3 performers of all Bitcoin miners as far as their stock goes. So that is how hard the Bitcoin mining industry has been hit. This stock's down 87.5% off of their November highs, which aren't even their all-time highs. And they're the 3rd best performing stock out of all the Bitcoin mining companies. So if we zoom in a little bit, we can get a better look. So you can see at the beginning of the year, back at the end of January, Riot hit basically a 2-year low, and that was somewhere just under $13. They bottomed out over the summer, and unlike most of the other Bitcoin miners, they have not retested this low. Most of the other Bitcoin miners not only have retested this low, but they have set lower lows. Some of them have set significantly lower lows. So again, relatively speaking, Riot is performing well as a stock. Having said that, it is still way, way off of its highs. So obviously there's a lot of potential room to the upside. This is not financial advice, so I'm not telling you to buy this stock or sell this stock. I think there's a lot of upside potential in the future for this company. So, okay, so that's all things Riot through the end of October. Again, we'll jump on this again once they put their financial statements out, which I think will be sometime in the next week or two. So if you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thanks again so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.